What's going on, guys? I'm here with one of our clients, Roman, who actually revamped his entire sales process and closed a 124K deal as a result of it. What's going on, Roman? How are you?
Hey Eric, doing good. Since closing the 124K deal, we've got the shoot actually in 2 days, and
I
so
love it.
slightly stressing about it, but
Yeah,
not really because it's gonna be
it's
good.
a good problem to have. I guess
Yeah.
for anybody who maybe doesn't know you, your background, just give us a little background on you and kind of where you came from and a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So I started making videos at my church 15 years ago. I don't know, too long ago. And I was just kind of making videos, volunteering. And then I worked there for a couple of years, and I just loved creating really entertaining and funny videos. And the way that that found its way into the marketplace was creating commercials.
Yep.
And I would just put things on the internet, and somebody would see it, and then they would want to talk about something for their business, and I'm like, okay, cool, this is a thing. People pay money for this kind of thing. um Actually ended up, it was back when like comedy rap was a thing that was
Mm, I know
really big
exactly
in
what you're
the
talking about.
2010s.
Yep.
So I made some comedy rap videos, and then one thing led to another, and then here I am, 15 years later, or whatever, and we do all kinds of videos, which is part of my problem and why I came to
I was just about to ask that, what kind of like
yeah.
problems you were going through prior to joining the
Yeah,
program.
really one of the problems was like I did anything and everything, and it was always a blank slate. And someone would come to me, and they would need a video, and I'd say, okay, well, what kind of video do you need? And then they'd kind of describe it, and then I would, just come up with an extremely customized, video, and would give it to them, and usually it would be great.
Yep.
Sometimes it wouldn't, because they were, telling me what they needed as opposed to
You
me really.
diagnosing the problem and then kind of
Yes.
telling them what you felt like they needed
Yes,
based on
exactly.
the
Yeah.
problems. That makes
Yeah.
sense. And I guess like, was there any reason you kind of chose our program over maybe some of the other programs outside of just me living on your Instagram feed like every single day in ads? Was there anything that kind of stood out to you?
Uh yes, it was the main thing that I was interested in whenever I set up the call was getting clients on a recurring basis.
Yeah,
And still going through the program, so
for sure.
have yet to get there, but that was the idea that I was most like, oh, because when we initially booked the program, I was in a season of a dry spell where some months were really good, some months were terrible, and this
Yeah.
happened to be a stretch of 3 months that was basically crickets. And
Yeah,
so I was searching, looking for, I was really needing a way to get clients at the
for
end of the
sure.
day.
Absolutely. And I know we talked about this a little bit beforehand, but tell us a little bit about kind of the 124K deal. And I know you said it was kind of four times as much as you had pitched previously, but tell us a little bit about kind of what we helped with. And like, I know you said it was a little bit of that sales process, right? And how you changed a
Yeah.
couple things within what you did.
Yeah. So this particular project, they kind of had an idea of what they needed, and it was very specific.
Yep.
And I had already gone through all the sales training with you guys, and just some of the best practices when it comes to all this stuff. And so in the past, what I would have done was I would have, heard them out what they needed, and I would have built a proposal,
Yep.
and just, spent so long on it, and just really sweated through every detail of a 50-page proposal, and then just like emailed a link, and would have been like, hey, check this out when you get a chance. Set aside 30 minutes to go through it, which is actually what I have said in the past, which is just great. Set aside 30 minutes. Anyway, so I would have done that, and they probably would have, in my experience, either just like not read it, or just scrolled to the number, or just not ever call me back. And so
Yeah.
as a result of the training, I set up a meeting. I did build out a short proposal, but I actually took them through it, and took them through the numbers portion, and pitched the different options,
Yep.
and they went with the biggest option, which was 124K, for 4 videos. And so
I love it.
captured in one day. So yeah, and
I
and
remember you telling me you're like, I think I'm gonna send that. I'm like, no, Roman, please do not send that to them.
should
I
I
need
just
to walk
email
them through
this?
it.
Should I
Should
just
I
like
just,
email them?
can
Yeah.
I like carrier pigeon this thing over to them? Will
Yeah.
you guys
And it
take
was
it?
really, because I mean, at the end of the day, it was out of just being nervous and afraid to
I
pitch
think I
big
think that's so
numbers.
true because like I think a lot of people don't want to confront the sales part of it. So they're
Yeah.
like, let me just send these scary numbers to somebody and like hope and pray they say yes. But
Yeah.
it's killing your conversion rate and like
Right.
it's
And I'm very like,
killing, yeah,
I'm a very, I'm a people pleaser. I like people to like me. I
me
like people,
too.
you know what I mean? And so like,
Yep.
I had,
To have any sort of confrontation or
yeah,
objection, like it's just weird and you're like, oh, I
yeah.
don't like this. It's really just uncomfortable. I get
Yeah,
that.
but I've kind of learned to, I mean, as a result of the program, I've learned to just like embrace it and like,
Yep. It's that
really lean
uncomfortableness is
into it.
where you find that sale and where you can really help people make a change that's going to help their business grow, is really getting into that stage of like, let's have a real conversation here. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are afraid of having real conversations, but obviously you've
Yeah.
conquered that, which is great.
Yeah. And something else I learned from you guys is to get, I think the way that you say it is get on the same side of the table
Hmm.
with them and really be an advisor as opposed to
Yeah. An order taker or
being,
someone who's like,
yeah,
what do you want? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And advising them on when you're going through packages and prices, really being the advisor as opposed to just the
Yeah.
opposite the table
Well,
and trying to
I think that comes from
sell
like
them
you need
something.
to be looked at as an authority for content. Like you're a
Right.
content consultant. You're somebody who's going to advise them on what you think they need to get to whatever desired outcome they want to get to. And I think a lot of people just sit in this place of like, what do you want? But they don't understand what they want because they don't understand the full extent to their problem as
Yep.
well. And so we need to diagnose that just like a doctor would. It's like you're not going to go to a doctor and be like, hey, my back is hurting. I think I need this surgery. They're going to laugh at you and be like, no, I'm going to take a look at it, figure out what you need, and then prescribe a solution from there. And I think
Yep.
just switching that identity is huge,
Yep. 100%.
100%. I love it, man. Well, I guess one last question. I guess if anybody's maybe on the fence about potentially booking a call to just like speak with us and speak with our team, I guess what advice would you give them knowing what you know now?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely. I'm always skeptical of when I see
As you
ads.
should be.
Is skeptical
Yep.
of the process of the people. Like,
Yep.
there's a certain stereotype
Of
for
course.
the talking head on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. But I will say that my experience with you guys is that, and I would tell anybody this is that you guys are the real deal human. You care about like any shortcoming of the program is me not doing my part to do the to-do list that you guys have given me. If I'm falling short, it's on me. You guys have been nothing but like on it with every line of communication, laying out the whole process is really amazing. Like seeing it all laid out, and so I would say like I really feel like you guys do care about our success. And that's
Appreciate that.
apparent in every interaction with you guys. I mean, I can't even be on all of the call opportunities because there's so many. I mean, there's ample opportunities to get on the phone with you guys and learn and grow. And yeah, you guys have been amazing and super helpful.
I appreciate it, man. And I think that it really is just the start for you. Like just these small sales tweaks have already taken you so far. Now we're going to continue the journey and keep
Yep.
ramping up and keep building upon what we already built. And it's very exciting, man. So I'm excited to see where you go. And I appreciate you taking the time.
Cool. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.